Well, the 49ers, John Lynch says he wants to keep Brock Purdy there long term. But is it the right choice?
Let's talk football.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast. Sports are everything on this channel. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, we're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. John Lynch recently came out to the media and said, in quote, that John Lynch wants Brock Purdy there long term. But the question is, well, you already saw from the title, so I'm not going to get into it too much of the question because you already saw from the title. But before we get started into this video, if you all do enjoy this video, please be sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about Brock Purdy. Oh, Brock Purdy, or as I call him, Mr. Irrelevant, because he was the last pick of the NFL draft a few years ago. There has been a few things that I have said about this guy. Number one, Brock Purdy needs to learn to perform when his weapons are hurt. When Trent Williams is hurt, he has a record of 2-6. And this is when Trent Williams is out, their best offensive lineman, which I believe they might go after offensive line in the draft. But that's number one. Number two, the 49ers, they are just a really interesting team. They get highlighted as a Super Bowl contender, some years more than others, yet they can't seem to get the job done. I want to make this very clear. Brock Purdy does not deserve an extension because, number one, I already said this, Brock Purdy cannot do well when he is injured, when any of his players are hurt. We saw this when Nick Bosa went out against the Seattle Seahawks. They went in and had a game-winning drive and had the 49ers defense making Geno Smith look like prime-time Michael Vick. Then you also had a game against the Rams where you got swept by the Rams, by the way. One game you gave up a game-winning drive to the Rams, and then also you lost only by putting up field goals. That's it. Then you get swept by the Cardinals. You just get destroyed by them in the last game of the season, and then the first game of the season where you had against them, then you just made it close, but then again gave up another 4-point lead, as Kyle Shanahan is accustomed to. But there is one thing I cannot understand. Why are we constantly giving the 49ers a pass? They've already had their chances. The main thing a championship-worthy team does is what? I want to ask that audience that before I answer. And that answer is perform when your players are hurt. We see this right now with the Detroit Lions. They have 13 guys on defense that are hurt. What is their record? 15-2. The Lions are 15-2 despite their injuries. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. They have constantly dealt with both injuries and suspectness. What is their record? 16-1. I'm not taking that Denver loss as a counting one. If the starters were in that game, Kansas City probably wins the game. But that's, of course, another story for another day. Technically, they're 15-2, but I'm technically calling them 16-1. This, and then Josh Allen and the Bills. They let go of Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. What position are they in? The number 2 seed in the NFC. And then another team I want to throw out there, the Seattle Seahawks. When many defensive linemen were down or hurt early in the season, and then Kanon went out the last little bit of the season, what was their finishing record? 10-7. And then also, another team I want to kind of throw out there is the Minnesota Vikings. When they were expected to be horrible this year, what was their record? 14-3. This is a custom thing that I am wanting to see from teams, and probably as is any other NFL fan. When you are considered to be a Super Bowl contender, like you were at the beginning of the season, what is the 3 top things that you must do as a quarterback in the NFL. Number one, perform when your players are hurt. We see Patrick Mahomes do it all the time. And Jared Goff doing it as well, even though the defense has been the primary thing hurt. That's number one. Number two, don't turn the ball over. We see Purdy do this all the time, and so many other quarterbacks in the NFL. If you turn the ball over, you're going to lose football games. And then number three, and most importantly, shine in the brightest lights. We saw Purdy in the biggest game of the year last year in the Super Bowl. What did he end up doing? Throwing on third down, where if you got a first down, you probably run down the clock and win the game. This is a custom thing. This is a constant thing I've said. There is no more excuses for the 49ers. You either go out there and show up or you shut up. Because this is a constant thing I've said. The 49ers need to quit making excuses. You make excuses when Dre Greenlaw went down in the Super Bowl. You lost that one. And I totally respect that. Then you go out this year and say, oh, and I've heard this from so many 49er fans. Oh, we've been dealing with so many injuries. Oh, our players are hurt. Well, what have the Detroit Lions done? They're 15-2, yet they're dealing with injuries. Why can't you? Why can't you perform with injuries? When you're hurt, you can't appear to win. Yet when you're fully healthy, you constantly win. This is a constant thing I've talked about. The 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, I've talked about this guy about 12 or 13 times. This guy needs to learn to show up in the moments. And then primarily for Brock Purdy, he needs to prove himself. You can't perform when your players are hurt. You can't win when your players are injured, because primarily Trent Williams was the guy out, as I had already mentioned earlier, when he went 2-6 as a starter when Trent Williams is hurt. My point is, the 49ers, regardless, need to show up when it matters. They need to show up despite their injury list. Because Detroit, they're the number one seed, and they were dealing with injuries. And the Chiefs, they were both dealing with injuries and looking suspect most of the year, yet they're in the number one seed as well. This is my final point. If you are considered a Super Bowl contender at the beginning of the year, you need to actually prove it. With or without injuries, you need to prove it. You either go out there and win or you die trying. No excuses. Because I'm sick and tired of these excuses. You either go out there and win or you die trying. No excuses. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think Purdy can win a Super Bowl with the 49ers? Because I personally don't think he will. But I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to do me a favor and smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Till next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.